Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tracy Berry. We want to bring you up to date on a rescue situation underway on Mount Hood right now. These are live pictures from Sky 8, which is currently on the way to the scene. We're told from Clackamas County sheriffs that 7 climbers are reportedly stranded near Hogsback, a very popular climbing area. One has apparently fallen. We do not know their condition at this point. But joining me on the phone right now is Steve Rollins from Portland Mountain Rescue. They are always there when something like this happens. Steve, I know you're on your way to the mountain right now. What have you been told about this situation?
Well, initial reports are always a little sketchy, so you really don't know till you get on scene. But initially, we had a report of one fallen climber, which is not uncommon for the climbing season. This is a bit early, but given the weather we've been having, it's not surprising people are up there climbing. I heard some talk of possibly 2 climbers fallen and additional climbers stuck towards the summit. So seems like a fairly complex situation that we're going into.
It does, Steve. Now, you've hiked this area many, many times and, of course, done rescues in this area as well. For those of us who are not hikers, can you describe what this area is like? Is it steep? Is it a valley? What is the Hogsback?
Sure. So the Hogsback is a steep spine that goes from the crater of the volcano up towards the summit, roughly 800 feet in length, and probably not now, but later in the season, there's a big crevasse that bisects the middle of it, which is a hazard climbers have to go around. At this time of year, they can probably walk over it using a snow bridge. It's the most standard, it is the standard most climbed route on the mountain. And again, given the weather conditions we've been having, it's not surprising that there are climbers up there climbing today.
Steve, I saw some things on social media, I think it was just yesterday, saying that conditions were getting a little tricky up there as the weather warmed up. Had you heard anything about that?
I haven't seen those social media comments, but with the weather pattern we've been having, with cool nights and clear days, you tend to get a melt freeze, which tends to turn the snowpack more icy, more prone to slipping. And as the heat of the day warms up, like when we're going to be doing this rescue, you get increasingly concerned about avalanche conditions, rockfall and icefall from the upper mountain.
So I know we don't have any idea what happened in this particular situation, but when someone does fall in that area that you've seen before, is it a situation where they slip or they lose grip or they're hit by something? What is the norm?
I don't know that there is a norm. All those scenarios that you listed, falling, catching one of the crampon points, the metal spikes on our feet, on your ankle, and tripping, getting hit by loose rock or falling ice, all those are common ways to fall or initiate a fall. And the outcome of the fall just depends. I mean, we have people that get beat up, but they're able to get themselves down on their own. And then on the other end of the spectrum, we have fatalities. So it really depends on what conditions are when you fall, how far you fall, where you land, that determines the outcome.
So, Steve, how do you guys handle this then? How many rescuers will be heading up there? How long do you expect something like this to take?
So I don't have the total count of rescuers, but this seems fairly complex, so we're getting as many people as we can go up there. I would, if I had to hazard a guess, I'd say we'd probably have on the order of 15 rescuers or perhaps more going up. And as far as how we do it, we get to Timberline, we come up with a plan, get the gear that we think we're going to need, and get a hasty team high on the mountain to assess the threatening situation. Then we'll also request a helicopter, which I don't know that has been done today, but it seems like conditions are favorable in terms of I can see the mountain right now, so visibility should be good. That would be a possibility, but even with a helicopter, you always send a ground team in case the helicopter has mechanical problems or for other reasons can't affect the rescue.
Yes, it looks like it'll be a long ordeal. Have they given you any information about how far the person has fallen, or is it all just very basic at this point?
Yeah, it's always basic to begin with, and even when they give you information, we get the best information we can from the scene. It gets relayed, but I've been doing this for 20 years. You really don't know until you get on scene exactly what you're going to encounter, so you've got to go prepared for nearly anything.
It looks like the weather conditions are pretty good. I was checking in with Rod Hill just before we went on, and he said the freezing level is at about 9,000 feet. And Steve, is Hogsback where? Is that at 10,000 feet?
Yeah, it's about 10,500. So that's, one, very helpful. So I appreciate knowing where the freezing level is. And that's favorable because that would suggest that the ice and rock is going to stay frozen in place longer, takes some of the, kind of reduces some of the hazard that we face going up there.
And I guess the winds are pretty calm today, and obviously visibility's good, so that all works in your favor. But I assume you'll get a briefing on all of that when you get to Timberline before you head out?
Yeah, I mean, we may or may not. There's no weather stations at that level, so again, the information you're giving me is good right now because we don't know till we've really arrived. And usually these rescues are based off of an initial 911 call routed to the sheriff that then calls Mountain Rescue. We're operating off very minimal information about this situation until we arrive on scene. That would include number of patients, number of injuries, what the conditions are high in the mountain, that sort of thing.
Well, Steve, I know you're on your way. You've got a lot bigger things to worry about. We appreciate what you do. Please be safe, and we'll be following you throughout the afternoon. Steve Rollins.
My pleasure.
Yes, thank you. From Portland Mountain Rescue. Again, 7 climbers are reportedly stranded near Hogsback, a very popular climbing area on Mount Hood. 1 has apparently fallen. Some reports of possibly 2 hikers in trouble. Portland Mountain Rescue sending at least 15 rescue members on their way. We will keep you updated on this effort throughout the afternoon and have the very latest coming up on KGW News at 3 today.